Okay, so welcome everybody.
Good morning from Lisbon.
Good morning from Lisbon. It's the same time as in the UK. We're here with the huge beards. Yeah, so we're next to after Rob Sewell, which is very difficult to compete with such a big beard. But I have a white one, and he has a real one, which is even weirder. So we're doing Shaven, not stirred, which is a total lie because I didn't shave. I have like a week's worth of a beard, and I have a fake one as well, so it's not going to go well. Okay, so let's start with this. And yeah, so we're going to do a Shaven session, yes, because obviously we can have stuff like a shaved pussy, right?
Can we say
yes, shaved pussy.
Okay. It's
not pussy. Shaved pussy.
Yes. From 00777.
Goldfinger, yeah, no, it's not Goldfinger. It's just a shaved pussy. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is me. My name is André Melancia. I have, I used to have a beard at some point in time. So here's a picture. To prove that I can actually participate in this. I used to have a real beard, and yeah, so I own a small company called Lunar Cat, which basically named after my cat. And now it's your turn.
Well, I'm Antonio. I'm a CTO at the media company here in Portugal, and this is strange, but my most famous quote is really big because of the
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I ask people and say beep. Instead of saying hi, I say beep. So that's you have
this beard is falling apart. Sorry. Okay, let's start this thing. So this is a hacking session.
No, it's not a hacking. The police is.
Oh, okay. So it's not a hacking session. It's actually a security session,
okay.
And we have to say this because otherwise the police was going to get us. This is going to be a half an hour of a session. The big session, which is 1 hour's worth, is going to be next week on I think this is a security session, which is a good excuse for you not to go to jail. And basically, the software works really fine. Microsoft has a great software.
It has no bugs.
No bugs, only features. Only features.
Like your beard.
Yeah, but the thing is, software is perfect, but it's configured by humans. So that's the real problem. And when you have humans configuring it, you have a huge amount of security.
No problem. We are gods.
Okay, so this is actually, this used to be called NSA Secrets, and exactly because I used to be stopped at airports and stuff like that, I decided to stop naming it NSA Secrets. No NSA Secrets will be told ever, or have ever been, I think, but still, it's worth remembering. Okay, next up, I will be there next week, and I will have to handle hacking some British sockets, okay? And this is really difficult because I usually have to get a stick and shove it up the big hole, and then connect the plugs all the way in.
You don't need to do that, but okay.
I actually risked my life to get electricity, but let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about dynamic data masking. It's supposed to be, people tell us it's supposed to be a security feature, but it's definitely not.
It's not security. Definitely not a security.
Okay, so
it's not.
It's nice to have, but on a low kind of security facilities.
Let's show it.
Okay, so let's show it. So simple things. You can actually get each of these fields, and for each individual field, you just decide that you want to have it masked. And the example is down here. So in the first case, you just mask the name with the first letter valid shown. Then a bunch of X's, and then 0 letters afterwards, which is what we can see here. And if you use the default to just cancel all the information, which, okay, it's true masking. And then you can have an email, and you can have a few other functions for...
The email, it's not an email, shows like an
it shows like an yeah. So you can actually mask it, but this is not a security feature. If you go to Microsoft's documentation on this, it does say it's not worth as a security feature, just as a helper in certain circumstances. So, okay, what is the problem here? So we have a way to unmask it, which is you need not only the select permission, but you also need the unmask permission.
And the unmask is
by database, yeah. So the unmask is by database, which doesn't make any sense, and obviously some people have found a way to get around dynamic data masking. That's what we're going to see here. So I'm going to try this.
Only try this at home or at Microsoft, wherever you are.
Yes, by the way, we are here at the Microsoft building, all the way here. So this is Lisbon, and this is a Surface Hub, which we experimented during the night. It's huge. It's 400 kilos big, but we just had to say we used it. So okay, let's move on. Okay, so okay, so yeah, so we have here a 007 demo. So I hope you like 007, because if you don't, we don't have any other. So okay, and some of those actually have beards, so it counts. Okay, so I already have a database created, and I'm basically going to do a whole lot of drops because I'm lazy, and I'm just going to clean up anything that I might have done before. So this is okay, and then I'm just if exists. So I'm just going to create some users. Yeah, but that's 2016. I just want to keep it working on other versions, because this is used for other demos as well. Okay, so I'm just going to create some users which we're going to use. Basically, these are the users: M, which is the the woman boss of 007; Q, which is the guy with the gadgets; and all the other yes. So all the other users. Okay, then we're going to create some table with the names of the films, and then we're just going to take a look at them. So we can see a whole bunch of films, like 26 films, and then we're going to do something. Obviously, we'll also need some of this, which is an agent table. I'm just going to create it, and I'll show you afterwards what this works. Okay, so we have all the possible actors, agents, whatever. Okay, now let's just mask this. So one of the things you do is you mask it. I'm going to use this function which has this ... kind of thing, and then we're just going to grant select to basically everybody. I don't care about that, but I'm going to grant the unmask to the M user. That's it. So you can see it all. Yeah. So let's do this, and then I'm just going to try to see all the information, just as a normal sysadmin, which I am currently. So I can see all the information, no problem. If I use the M user, I also can see the information, no problem as well. Now let's try to see the user Sean Connery. Suddenly, Sean Connery, yes. I can't see anything. Yes, she. Okay, he has a beard as well now, so it counts. So I only see the first two letters, which is okay, and yeah, that's what I decided. Okay, so let's try to exploit this. So first off, let's try to get this. So the column which has bond actor is supposed to be masked, but we're going to have a where with the like clause. It could be anything. It could be an equal clause, something like that. I'm going to specify Roger, which basically has more letters than I'm supposed to see. So if I execute this, I actually see all the 7 Roger Moore films. So Roger Bond, yeah, whatever. Yeah, he is a Bond technically. So no beard though. But okay, we're not supposed to see this. This happens basically because in the where clause, when you execute the query, the where clause happens before the dynamic data masking part.
Only after execution plan.
Only near the select does it filter, does it do the masking thing.
Execution plan.
I can show you the execution plan. So basically, this is for everyone. I'm going to show you the execution plan. Wait, is it back? Okay. So basically, we're doing wheres and stuff up here on the right, up here on the left, somewhere here, you get the dynamic data mask.
You have, like, if you try to in the first.
Yeah, but no problem, because the user doesn't have permissions to see the query. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so this is one exploit, but this doesn't guarantee me that this is the correct Roger Moore. It could actually be Roger Rabbit or something like that. So let's try this in a different way. Let's do an inner join with that table we had before, which is basically the agents table. And this is the column which I use from the second table. And this information here and this information here will match. So that's what I ask you. They will match. And basically, I can actually see all the information already. But this has a problem, because if I'm actually seeing this, then that means I already know the information. I just want to get it in the right records. So that's not enough for some things. That is, however, enough for us to do stuff like get a table from 1 to 1,000, if this is an integer, or dates like 1900s to current date in all possible days, and maybe join it together and get the information from that specific column. However, it does not work on not random, but basically normal strings where you don't know, you can't predict what text it has. So there is a different option, which basically I got a lot of help from Dmitry. So I will create a table with letters, and basically that table with letters is just this thing here, A through Z and the space letter. Yeah. So nothing much there. But then I'm going to try to join this. But I'm going to try to join this character by character. So this is the first position, second position, third position of that specific string. And if I try to run this, what I'm going to get is Sean Connery all written here, and all the others are here, one character at a time. So obviously this has 14 characters total, which is basically the size of the demo. But you can have as many characters as you want. You just join them, and it's supposed to work. So yeah, that,
security.
Yeah, it does work. Yeah. Okay. So, but just to show you this, it will not work. Oh, it will not work if you try to do this using the select part. So if you do this on the from, if you do this on a where, that will work. If you do this on the select statement, it will not work because the select is after the masking. So basically, that's one way to hack it. It's simple enough. Okay. So let's go back to this for a bit. And yes, here we go again. Okay, so man in the middle. So it can be a woman. That is why we have person in the middle. Okay, because let's not be sexist. Person in the middle. So it's very difficult to ask these questions remotely, especially because of the lag from here to mostly the UK. Yes, as well. So basically, a man in the middle or a person in the middle is when you have a victim that tries to connect to a server, but instead of connecting to that server, he's actually redirected to the attacker's computer, and the attacker's computer will then send the information to the server, modified or just sniffed, depending on whatever he wants to do. So the idea here is a SQL Server does have that limitation as well. You can put something in the middle, which is what we're going to see right now. And basically this applies not only to SQL Server, but everything else, MySQL, Oracle, even a web server, it applies to everything. Okay, so let's try this. SQL Server 2000.
Was not encrypted.
Yeah, definitely not encrypted.
2005.
2005, you actually got, this was a problem, by the way, because that login packet, which is the first packet here, did not have any encryption on the username. You can actually see the username in plain text.
But no one is using SQL Server.
Yes, a lot of people are still using SQL Server 2000 or even earlier. That's absurd. Yeah, okay, so in 2005, they actually solved this problem, and they encrypted the login packets. But only the login packet, exactly. So all the other packets by default are unencrypted.
No
So, okay, so let's try this man in the middle thing. And two ways to do this. The hard way, which is what a assisted man would probably do.
It's not so hard, but it's the hard one.
Yeah, this is the hard way. Okay, one of the most typical ones is just disconnect the cable and connect it directly to the attacker's computer. But there are many ways. But let's not try that. There are much easier ways. So which one? Let's try the host file. Okay. So if we change the host file, what happens here? We just get the victim to change the host files on the victim, and basically say
my computer instead of. Very nice.
Assuming you're the attacker, yes.
I have a real beard, so I can be a
real beard. Okay, so basically what we're saying here is for the host file, we actually say that the legitimate server name actually corresponds to the IP of the attacker, and from there on the attacker has full control over the connection. He redirects that to the server or not, depending on what he wants to do. But there are other ways, and one of them is specific. Yeah, but the rest is easy. The easy part here is if you use SQL Server, you can actually use the aliases. It's just as simple as that. So you can actually use the configuration manager, the really old client configuration tool that people like me that use SQL Server really.
The hard way. Let's go to the registry.
Or basically the registry, of course. So it's easy to do. We just do some sort of kind of a phishing attack or something like that, and try to do something like this. Okay, let's try this man in the middle attack. Okay. So one of the things we should do is, first of all, change the demo. Okay, so this is all the same thing. I'm just going to put the demo back again. It should work fine. I have the normal results here, which is okay.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm going to try to sniff this, but I'm going to use the Wireshark. So I'm going to do the start here, and nothing's going to happen, because if I try to sniff from my local computer to my local computer, that's not going to work. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to connect to another computer, which is next door. Both of these computers are in the Azure cloud. So if I try to connect to this one, and get the information, I actually get the information. By the way, the two extra columns are just to remind you that I'm not cheating. This is the current date. This is just an information if you want to run all the demos in one place. So, okay. Let's see what happens when I captured it. Let's just stop this because I don't want any more. And I have a lot of information here. So select something, which happened already. And you have a SQL batch. Select something again, which is not the one we want, and another SQL batch. Declare something, still not the one we want. Okay, let's try to find this. Okay, this one is particularly sneaky. SQL batch. Okay, still not the one I want. Okay.
Where is it?
It's actually very sneaky. So let's actually try this again. It's easier to just try this again. Okay, so
see the comments also.
Okay, so this one is much smaller. So if I try to run this SQL batch, I actually got the comments, which they have all the X's. The X's are here just to help us with this. So all these are here. And if you go down, you can actually see stuff like select something from whatever.
The comments are very important here because I've seen many connections.
Yeah, something like this.
Client is using a password and
exactly
they on the comments.
Something exactly like this. So some comments are very idiotic, but that depends on the people that actually develop them. So the information is here. I can actually see the query, and I can actually see the response as well. So I'll see here Spectro, Daniel Craig, all the information is here. Which is present on this table over here. So I already have the information. Okay, let's. I'm not going to use Wireshark anymore because the next demo, the next thing is to try to manipulate the packets. But the problem with manipulating the packets is Wireshark doesn't work with this, and there's nothing that works on Windows that does this in real time. At least that I've seen that's easy to use. So I decided to actually create a simple proxy that does this, and I'm going to start it. So I pre-compiled this already. I'm just going to show you what it does. Okay, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm just going to show you what it does. So basically, if we see something like, if we see something like we receive stuff both on the local host, but if we receive stuff on port 12345, we'll just which is the attacker's port. Let's emulate the attacker's port like this. We'll just redirect it to port 1433, which is the legitimate port, and then try to change information like if you see the name of the guy as David Niven, for instance, which is one of the Bond actors. Let's change it to Felix Leiter, which is the American, obviously, right? So the NSA is bad, MI6 is good, so good guys, bad guys, so let's try to change this. And obviously you have another one which we're going to change. Yeah, which is, yeah, of course. So let's try to run this, and then let's pretend that this, in fact, was already hacked by the attacker. And now this is going into the attacker's man-in-the-middle situation. So hopefully
we'll get there. Okay.
So I'm already here. Okay. I'm already here. Information is going down. A big problem with this is if you don't turn off the IntelliSense, this is going to be a lot of trash, which obviously you don't want. So yeah, a lot of trash. No, I turned it off already. Okay, so no, it's calm now. Okay, so let's try to run the second demo now and execute it. So he actually changed some things here, which if you take a look at it, it's actually the change here and here. So we've actually changed the packets during flights. Nothing was changed in the origin, so the database is still original.
But you changed also the batch, the query.
Yes, but I can actually change the query as well. So let's try this. Let's try to escalate privileges, and basically what I'm going to do is to try to get some sort of query. And if I see one of those, I try to create a login with a certain password and just make it a sysadmin, basically. So let's see what happens if I try to do that. So, okay, so let's try to run this. Something wrong?
No.
Okay. It beeped somewhat. Okay. So this was supposed to get an escalation demo thing here, but it actually gets a shagadelic thing. And basically that's because if you go here into the security thing, nothing was here before. Let me just do a refresh. And now you have an Austin Powers here, which has taken over the MI6 thing. And he's actually sysadmin, so immediately he's taking over the server. That has consequences all over the not only the server, Active Directory, and everything that your organization can have. So it's going to be a massive security issue. Okay, so that's about it for this demo. Okay, how do we solve this? You can actually encrypt these things. I'm going to show you that part as well. So if you try to encrypt this as well,
you are only encrypting in the connection, or you?
Okay, no, I'm actually encrypting just the connection, not. Yeah, so I'm going to decide to force encrypt this. I'm going to have to reboot the server itself. So this has just crashed, which is normal because it stopped being connected. And this one, I'm just going to restart it. And it's going to take a few seconds, which is normal. And let's see what happens. And afterwards, in theory, all the information should now be encrypted. So the attacker will see the information, but he will not understand it. So this is going to start in some point in time. So, yes, because the SQL Server has a lot of stuff in it, obviously. Okay, so let's just start this. Okay, so moving to the right. Trying that one again. Okay. So if we try to encrypt the stuff, let's try this. Oh, okay. And execute that. Not this one. Sorry. Okay, let's try to execute this. So what we see here is complete gibberish. So we're not going to be able to see it. The information is unchanged, so it works pretty well right now. So okay. So basically, the idea here is you should not only force encryption here, but it should also include certificates to make sure of the authenticity of the server. Because at this point, you're not sure you're connecting to the right server. It can just be a server that has exact copy of your information and you're not sure you're connecting to it. So you should probably install some certificates to make sure of the authenticity of the web server. Okay, so a lot of information here. You can get all the links here if you want to. And also remember, I'm going to do this in a more extensive way at SQL Bits next week, so you can look at it. A few more things.
You can
short things. Always encrypted. So always encrypted.
SQL 2016 only.
Exactly. So one of the things that that happens is the ADO.NET library basically encrypts the whole thing, and over the wire the information is encrypted. But this is not encrypted by connection. This is encrypted by column. So you have sensitive columns that you don't want your DBA on this side to know about, so you just encrypt it using always encrypted. This is not a good option to encrypt everything. It's a good option to encrypt certain columns.
Then the best thing it has two
methods.
Yes, two methods, and the server doesn't have always the an encryption key.
Yes. So that's a good option. So the DBA will not have access to it.
We stay with the master key, and in the server it's only the key that has been
exactly. So if we try to use this, we have two options of setting this up. One is the random, which guarantees that all the information, even if it's repeated, will get random encryption.
But you cannot
queries. Yeah, exactly. If you do a where, if you join, that will not work. Deterministic will always define things exactly repeated. So if you say UK, that says gibberish there in terms of bits and bytes. But if you repeat UK multiple times, the same bits and bytes will happen over and over again. So that's deterministic. You are able to do queries with where and with joins and stuff, but that is a security risk. So how do you hack it? Oh, it's simple enough. If you know the information from one of those records and you know that record belongs, for instance, the first blue one belongs to the UK, immediately you know that the second one belongs to the UK. But that's on deterministic. On random, you have no such problem. So
on random, it's a trade-off.
Yes, it's a trade-off because if you want to use random, you have to download all the information from the table and then decide on the client, which if you have a million records, it's not a good idea. Okay, so more stuff. Instant file initialization, it's not new, right?
2005.
2005, exactly. But since 2016, you actually have a wizard here for that. So basically, this is not a good idea.
On the configuration.
Yeah, so it is not a good idea, basically because if you have a disk that you've already used and you want to put some data files into it, it will not clean that previous information.
But it's fast.
But it's fast, yes. But the trade-off is you have no security. So if you want to hack it, just copy those files somewhere else, and all the information that was on the disk before you created those data files will be available to you. You just use a hexadecimal editor or whatever you want to do to get the information. So it's just easy enough. Okay, TDE, transparent data encryption, a 2008 kind of thing, which is a good idea if you want to encrypt all the information that you have on your hard disk.
But it has a bug.
It has a bug, yeah, because it does encrypt stuff, but the server has to have access to the keys. So
the server,
it is a problem.
The server has the key.
Exactly. So one of the recommended actions is to get the keys and the data into separate storage places where you make sure that no two people have access to both of them.
But in this, only the data on the database is encrypted.
Exactly. Exactly. So all the information over the wire will still be plain text unless you solve that problem with one of the options we talked about earlier. So how do you hack it? Well, simple. Server has the key. the person is always afraid to lose the keys, so he sticks them into a USB drive that he puts in a drawer.
Sometimes send it to the email address.
Or something like that, and it's always easy to get it. And obviously, if the server has the keys and no one cares about separating the two, immediately anyone with access to the server just takes the hard disks home, and still the same problem. So different physical locations where to store the keys and the information. Remember, over the wire, still the same problem because the information is not encrypted over the wire. Okay, I can be really happy with it. So far, no problems. So just to mention that it exists because this is a security session. Same as the TDE, but applicable for backups. And finally,
it's very important.
Yeah, just to mention that all these features are now available in all the editions of SQL Server since the Service Pack 1.
Service Pack 1.
Yeah. So a few months ago. So now anyone can use this. So this is mainstream kind of thing.
You can use almost encrypted in an Express version.
I'll probably not use that in an Express version, but okay.
It can be done.
Exactly.
You can use
so to close up, yeah,
with 10 gigs of can use this. So, ask one question. So,
okay. Express is a little limited, but I don't want to go into Express. Okay, so
but you have understand that it was enterprise. It has now.
Okay.
It is now on the standard version.
Okay, yeah. So our recommendations for you are make sure your traffic is always encrypted. Never expose, like I did just now with the Azure VMs. Never expose all SQL ports directly to the internet because you know in 2003 you had the SQL Slammer worm, which basically was 2003. Which is a long time ago, but that crashed the entire internet because basically everybody that used the internet could not use it because the routers were completely flooded with a lot of packets from a lot of SQL servers trying to connect to other SQL servers and affect them.
Some months ago with vendors.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, this SQL Slammer thing has a small issue, which basically was the problem was already solved at the time, and no one cared about installing the service packs. So basically, install the service packs, and that solves your problem. Also, one of the things in the slide before, which is you were not able to do the sysadmin to get access as the sysadmin if the other guy wasn't a sysadmin as well. So basically, you should never give as many permissions like a sysadmin. You should give them as least as possible. That is one of the things that's important.
Never happened
in the real world. Okay, guys. Do you have any questions online for us?
You can put it on Twitter. We are.
Yes, if you have it on Twitter, we can actually see it from here in the big Surface Hub thing. So, no questions? Okay. So, seems no questions. If you guys have any questions, we'll just leave our information here. So you have my website with a few of my contacts, and thank you very much for listening to our session. And keep seeing this and contribute to this cause because it's obviously very important. And, yeah, I hope this all goes well. And by the way, important things. Thank you very much to Stephanie Locke for doing this this thing. It's very important to do. And afterwards, we're going to get Alan Lavender after a small break, apparently. Okay. So, Steph, back to you. Thank you.